Good afternoon, good morning, good evening as well. So my name is Aurélien Lorange with my colleague Anna Urbanova from the COAX Foundation. Today we'll be hosting the first of the 8 finals of the Hague Inter-University Law Debate Tournament 2023. So we have different locations. So we have a team in Colombia, we have a team in Nepal, and we are in Europe for the organizers. So we give the floor to my colleague who will be the host for this match, Mr. Urbanova.
Thank you very much, and welcome to both teams. Welcome to the final phase of the Hague Inter-University Law Debate Tournament Edition 2023. We have the first time participating team of University of Antioquia from Colombia joining us, and of course the second time participants from the Kathmandu University joining us from Nepal. Welcome to both teams. Just a short general information about the match. The Kathmandu University debate team is joining us from Group F from the group phase, and the debate team of University of Antioquia from Colombia is joining us from the Group E of the group phase. Well done for joining this second stage of the competition. The debate statement the teams have received is as follows. It is the introduction of digital currencies, such as a national digital currency within the traditional financial system, can infringe on the right to privacy and pose a threat to personal freedoms and autonomy under the current legal framework. So the two teams have prepared for both sides of the position. In a short while, they'll be able to discover which position they'll represent during the match. But that would be all on the organization side. It's time for the students to introduce themselves. Starting with the debate team of Kathmandu University, Ms. Oyashwini Shah, the floor is yours.
So good evening, judges, esteemed panel of authority and fellow opponent team. I am Ojaswini Shah from Kathmandu University School of Law. Currently, I'm on my 4th year, so I'm really looking forward for this match, and all the best to the opponent team. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome. From the debate team of University of Antioquia, Ms. Luna Maria Morales Pulido, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, it's quite early in the morning here, and I'm really excited to be here. As she said, my name is Luna Maria, and I'm a last year student of law in the University of Antioquia. Really proud to represent my university here.
Thank you. Welcome. From Kathmandu University debate team, Ms. Nandita Karel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nandita Karel, and I'm pursuing my 4th year of law school at Kathmandu University School of Law, and it gives me an immense pleasure to be amongst you all. Good luck for the debate. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. From debate team of University of Antioquia, Mr. Christian Camilo Rico Zapata, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Camilo, and I'm in my 4th year university. And as my colleague said, I'm really happy to represent our university. And I want to wish the opposing team the best of luck.
Thank you. Welcome. Also welcoming the 3rd member of University of Antioquia's debate team, Ms. Paula Andrea Gomez Acosta.
Thank you very much. As it has been said, my name is Paula Andrea. I'm in my last year of law studies here at the Universidad de Antioquia in Colombia. I am really happy to represent today my university.
Thank you. Welcome. In a short while, my colleague will share the screen with the allocation of positions for the debate statement. Again, as per usual, you will have 3 judges for today's match. All of them are coming from different locations. They have time as per the rules to observe the match and to submit their grading forms. Immediately after the forms have been collected and confirmed, the results will be released to the teams and of course on the social media. For now, wishing the both teams best of luck and looking forward to your debate.
So yes, so I will share my screen. So already on YouTube they can see the wheel, so you will see as well the wheel in the room in a few seconds. So normally you should see the wheel with the name of your universities concerning these 8 of finals. So each team, Kathmandu University or the University of of Antioquia can get to be in favor or against the motion. So now I will click in the center, and we'll know which position you will defend during this match. So this is the University of Antioquia will be in position against the motion, and as a consequence, that will be Kathmandu University will be in favor and will be starting the match. So concretely, Kathmandu University will defend the position that the introduction of digital currencies such as national digital currency within the traditional financial system can infringe on the right to privacy and pose a threat to personal freedoms and autonomy under the current legal framework. On the other side, the University of Antioquia will defend the position that the introduction of digital currencies such as national digital currency within the traditional financial system cannot infringe on the right to privacy and pose a threat to personal freedoms and autonomy under the current legal framework. So now my colleague will share the screen for the 5 minutes of your preparation. Last 5 minutes of preparation.
For preparation, you can close your cameras, and we'll start with the debating of Kathmandu University. Thank you, everyone. The time for final preparation is now over. We'll be starting with the opening statements for the debate statement, starting with the debate team of Kathmandu University that has received a position in favor. You have 4 minutes whenever you're ready.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, honorable judges, an esteemed panel of authority and fellow opponent teams. On behalf of Kathmandu University School of Law, we will be speaking for today's debate topic, which is the introduction of digital currencies such as national digital currency within the traditional financial system can infringe on the right to privacy and pose a threat to personal freedoms and autonomy under the current legal framework. As we are aware to the fact that digital money itself is not a new concept. Commercial bank money has been digital for decades, and we already use digital means of payment on a daily basis. Central banks already was providing wholesale digital money to banks. So additionally, there has been an introduction of digital currency. A digital currency is any currency that is available entirely in electronic form. Currencies, electronic types, already predominate a large number of nations' financial systems. Digital currency, however, is exclusively exchanged through virtual means and does not leave a computer network. The three major varieties of digital currency that we can see and read about are cryptocurrency, central bank digital currency, which we will be referring to as the CBDCs, and lastly, the stable coins. Some new forms of digital currencies or digital cash that have been in the news lately includes central bank digital currencies or CBDCs. A CBDC is a digital currency that is issued and supervised by a nation's central bank. We can learn through the International Monetary Fund that 100 plus countries are exploring CBDCs at one point or another. But as of year 2022, only a few countries have had CBDC or have solid plans to issue them. Some of the countries that have already launched digital currency pilot project or have solid plans to issue them are the USA, UAE, Singapore, and few other countries. Just in 2020, the Bahamas launched the world's first ever central bank digital currency or CBDC called the Sand Dollar. The Sand Dollar is a digital version of the Bahamian dollar. The Bahamas currently has a full operational digital currency. On the other hand, the digital ruble in Russia has completed the initial trials, which is the full cycle of transactions as announced by the Central Bank of Russia. Now, our team would like to put forward the sum of the disadvantages arising out of the use of digital currency. Firstly, there arises the issues related to cybersecurity. Digital currency has made people like us constantly worry about cybersecurity and facing many threats due to less secure methods to store this money. Cyber attacks have been increasing day by day, and this situation can also threaten digital currency users with virtual theft. Secondly, the implementation of national digital currency could be expensive and complex, and not all countries could afford it. And there may be risk associated with the integration of national digital currency into the existing payment system, and this should not be forgotten. Furthermore, South Korea, South Korea Central Bank warned in the past that adopting a state-backed cryptocurrency, which is also a form of digital currency, as an official form of legal tender could threaten the country's financial stability. Also, the issuance of digital currency could lead to increased surveillance of financial transactions, which could raise privacy concerns as well as security concerns. Thank you.
Thank you for your solution. For the position against the debate team of University of Antioquia, you have 4 minutes when you are ready.
Thank you. Before I begin, may I confirm that I am audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Greetings from Colombia to all of you who are listening to us, especially to the respected judges, the organizing team, and our colleagues. Today as a team, we will present a series of arguments based on international hard law instruments and a relevant case that clearly show that the introduction of digital currencies, such as a national digital currency within the traditional financial system, cannot infringe the right to privacy or pose a threat to personal freedoms and autonomy under the current legal framework. In the first place, I will present a general normative framework based on international law instruments. Then my teammate Luna will bring to the discussion a relevant case, and ultimately my colleague Paula will present our concluding remarks. With that being said, I must begin by saying that the introduction of digital currencies is a novel matter. We can affirm that it has involved a change in the economic and financial activity of individuals, but also of states. Now, digital currencies can offer enhanced privacy compared to traditional financial systems. Transactions can be made anonymously without the need to provide personal identifying information to third parties. And we would like to emphasize that whether or not it poses a threat to rights such as privacy or personal freedoms, it would depend fundamentally on the specific design and implementation of the digital currency system, as well as the legal framework in place to protect privacy and personal freedoms. But adopting digital currencies is not a threat itself. Now, according to the United Nations Charter of 1945, a foundational international and hard law instrument enshrines the principle of sovereignty of states. And also, this charter rules that nothing contained in the present charter shall authorize the United Nations to intervene in matters which are essentially within the domestic jurisdiction of any state. And this sovereignty has to observe other hard law instruments and rights like the Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. And with this in mind, the decision of a state to adopt a digital currency as a centralized national currency to increase the economic development for all citizens in their territory is an autonomous and sovereign decision that must be respected by the international community. Additionally, we affirm that the introduction of digital currencies is definitely not a threat to rights such as privacy, due to the fact that these technologies can also be designed to incorporate privacy protections, such as the use of encryption, which could even prevent the misuse of people's financial data. And on top of that, legal frameworks can be put in place to protect privacy and personal freedoms, while also addressing potential risks associated with digital currencies. Now it's important to look at the benefits that will be reflected and guarantees for people, like lower transaction fees and faster transaction times. With these benefits presented, it's clear that a state could adopt a digital currency as a national currency in order to improve the quality of life of its citizens and the economic development of the country. And it wouldn't be a threat to the right of autonomy. On the contrary, that would be a manifestation of the right of economic liberty of states. According to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights of 1966, all peoples have the right to freely determine and pursue their economic, social, and cultural development, which is also mentioned in the Charter of the Organization of American States of 1948. So the introduction of digital currencies within the traditional financial system is not a threat to fundamental rights and personal freedoms. Thank you.
Thank you. Returning to the favor position and opening the first round of rebuttals, the debate team of Kathmandu University, you have 2 minutes.
In the modern world, one of the main problems is trying to protect your own identity from the prying eyes of the state and the non-state actors. In the context of modern environments, however, the importance of privacy and its security is becoming much more topical. Respected judges, I would like to emphasize on the fact that providing a way to track the digital money to mitigate the risk of fraud and theft in such an electronic world poses a threat, a serious threat to privacy. Government-directed central bank digital currency immediately has tracking, which leads to access to more data of individuals, and more privacy issues would arise eventually. Unlike what was said by my fellow opponent team member, payment made digitally is semi-anonymous, which means one's identity is quite obvious, causing problems in the protection of privacy. Secondly, digital currency could be weaponized as a tool as a state surveillance and control, which would certainly pose a threat to personal freedoms and autonomy under the current legal framework. We should not ignore that while there could be design options that could provide some privacy safeguards, technical specifications alone becomes insufficient to counter public concern over the risk of state surveillance. So thank you. That was my rebuttal.
Thank you very much. Debate team of University of Antioquia, you have 2 minutes for your first rebuttal.
Thank you. Before I begin, may I confirm that I'm audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Okay, so here we would like to display an example of the topic in which the introduction of a digital currency within the traditional financial system of a country shows that it does not affect or threaten privacy and autonomy. And this is the case of El Salvador. So on September 7, 2021, it became the first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender alongside with the US dollar. This decision, according to the President Nayib Bukele, was driven to increase their autonomy and economic development. First, by its potential to boost financial inclusion for the citizens, since approximately 70% of the population in El Salvador does not have a bank account. So this way they will promote easier access to financial services. Second, according to the World Bank, more than 20% of El Salvador gross domestic product comes from remittances, meaning that a large part of the population depends on money transfers from outside the country. And through the Bitcoin acceptance, these remittances will be cheaper. And finally, they adopted Bitcoin in order to reduce reliance upon the US dollar in order to gain monetary sovereignty. At this point, we would like to remember that monetary sovereignty is one of the main components of state sovereignty, which is a basic principle of international law. So the adoption of Bitcoin as a legal tender has not jeopardized states' or citizens' rights to privacy or autonomy. It has been, as I just showed, a demonstration of sovereignty that will allow more citizens to have access to the financial system, fostering autonomy and allowing the country to reinstate their monetary sovereignty. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathmandu debate team, you have 2 minutes for your second rebuttal.
Am I audible as well as visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Nandita Kharil, and I'm the second speaker, and I will be rebutting for the topic. When we talk about the strength of blockchains that are available in digital currency, all of them might not be the same. Taking an example of the Bitcoin Core or the BTC, for an example, pretends itself to be anonymous when the reality is that it isn't. It uses such a pretense to maximize its own benefits from all illusionary separation from the government and out of the reach of law. But in reality, it is only traceable. It is not just only traceable, but it also lacks serious privacy concerns. In China, officials have coined a system of controllable anonymity for digital yuan, in which participants in transactions are anonymous to each other. But the central bank can unmask all those transactions. Putting an emphasis again, the central bank still can unmask all the transactions. And there are ways that the government can make those transactions more private, ways of organizing these systems and advanced cryptography to reduce the amount of information that they share. But it's still hard to make guarantees about it. That's unlike any physical money, which works offline and for part most anonymously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Debate team of University of Antioquia, you have 2 minutes for your second rebuttal.
Okay, before I begin, may I confirm that I'm audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Okay, first, I would like to thank the opposing team for presenting their arguments that haven't reached this debate, but we must respectfully disagree. Okay, so far, my colleagues have referred to the hard law instruments on state sovereignty and human rights and the case of the Central American country, El Salvador. Now, in order to refute what the counterpart just mentioned, economic freedom can be seen as a component of personal freedom, and we must respectfully question whether our economic and monetary decisions are already autonomous. Today, international transactions, as well as inflation condition in countries, depend on the volatility of the dollar. So, isn't the current financial and monetary system violating the personal freedom and autonomy of individuals, as well as the sovereignty of states? Now, Centralizing cryptocurrencies in a national bank can be done through stablecoins that are a type of cryptocurrency that are designed to maintain a stable value, which is a positive aspect to highlight, typically by pegging the value of the stablecoin to underlying asset such as fiat currency, which is in fact regulated by the current norms of the financial system. And now, contrary to what Ms. Nandita Karel proposed on her rebuttal, we must also keep in mind that blockchain technology can be private, and as technologies advance every day, even faster than the juridical regulations, it will be possible to develop technologies that guarantee the rights of privacy. As in a private blockchain, access will be restricted to a defined set of users who are guaranteed permission to participate in the network, such as the banks and the legal authorities. Finally, centralizing cryptocurrency as a national currency will enable the central bank to have a greater control and oversight over the currency, which could help prevent illicit activities such as money laundering and terrorism financing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are now done with the rebuttal part of the session. We are entering conclusions. Debate team of Kathmandu University, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Am I audible and visible again?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. There are many possible arguments against the introduction of a central bank currency, especially in jurisdictions with sophisticated payments infrastructure, employing various public and private payment structures. CBDs often are dismissed as a solution in search of such a problem. However, the objection that seems to command the greatest volume and emotion is the alleged threat that it poses to privacy and indeed liberty of the citizen. The UK House of Lords of Committees, in a largely skeptical report of desirability of sterling CBDCs, raised the specter of digital currency as an instrument of state surveillance. A survey of European consumers conducted by the Bank for International Settlements identified public concerns about unspecified threats to privacy posed by CBDC. And a European Union consultation paper on a digital euro has explicitly cited the issue. It is undoubtedly that in countries which are more restrictive to views of citizens' right to privacy, similarly intrusive standards will be applied to CBDCs, but that is an intrinsic feature of the political system rather than the CBDCs. Similarly, in countries that once routinely abuse the collection and abuse of data on citizens for the purpose of state control, there are concerns that CBDCs might be precursor to unwelcome public intrusion into private affairs. In many of the states, citizens have the right to eject the unwelcome governments via the ballot box, and government-owned digital currencies would likely run on private blockchains, reducing transparency due to their centralized governance model. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But now, for the conclusion of the debate team of University of Antioquia, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Before I begin, may I confirm that I'm audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Okay. So much to our honorable judges and to our colleagues in Kathmandu. It's been a pleasure having this debate with you. However, we must disagree on the arguments that you have presented. First, as my teammate Camilo mentioned, state sovereignty is a founding principle as well as a rule of hard law that cannot be unknown, and the decision-making of the central bank is an expression of state sovereignty. Second, related to the technologies involved in these processes, that is a huge concern of our counterpart, blockchain works very differently from a traditional bank. It could be possible to centralize a cryptocurrency by using private blockchain technology, which can increase transparency and security on the financial operations. We also would like to emphasize on the huge benefits that cryptocurrencies can enable, as lower transactions fees compared to traditional payment systems, particularly for international transfers. Also, having cryptocurrencies as a national currency will enable faster transactions compared to traditional payment systems that are not subjected to the same regulatory requirements and intermediaries. And lastly, cryptocurrencies can provide greater financial inclusion for individuals who have not access to traditional bank services. Third, as my teammate Luna shared with us, the case of El Salvador is an example that shows that digital currencies within the traditional financial system of a country can be used to reinforce state sovereignty and reinstate financial access for the citizens. And finally, nor does the current monetary and financial systems guarantee guarantee the freedoms, autonomy, and sovereignty of states, especially since we depend on the volatility of the dollar. In addition, technological developments are advancing faster than legal development, and it's possible to have a private blockchain system managed by central banks and competent authorities in order to have a cryptocurrency as a national currency, which guarantees and respects the human rights of citizens and the bank users. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This now concludes the match, the part that you are graded for by the judges. You can now relax. Well done to both teams. Well done on your eighth finals match. Well done on starting the eighth final round for the Hague Inter-University Law Debate Tournament 2023. It's been a pleasure and an honor on the side of the organizers to witness your preparation and the execution of the match. So that said, giving you a bit more time to breathe in and breathe out after the session, we'll go back to a feedback round. So starting with the debate team of University of Antioquia, Mr. Zapata, how did you find the match? How did you find the preparation, the arguments of the opposing side? Did you perhaps hear something similar that you prepared with your team?
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. No, I mean, I must say that, of course, the preparation process is really challenging, of course, especially with today's topic, which, for example, myself, I literally didn't have any idea about it. But as I said before, I really thank the organizing team and also the opposing team because these spaces are an opportunity for us to learn, to practice our English, and even to get to know people. So I'm really thankful in general, and I really love this experience.
Thank you very much. Now passing the floor to the debate team of University of Kathmandu. Ms. Nandita Karel, how did you find the experience, the preparation, and did you perhaps hear something similar that your team prepared from the other side?
Firstly, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the organizers. This was indeed, as the previous speaker mentioned, it was a topic that we were a little clueless about, but as we went on with our research, we found that even such topics really have a great content if we really go out there and explore, and it has given a drive for us to push us and our limits to even greater heights, and I think it was a real tough match. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Luna Maria Morales Polido from the debate team of University of Antioquia, how did you find the experience, the match? Again, did you perhaps hear something that your team prepared from the other side?
Well, I really enjoyed the match. I was really looking forward to hear the arguments of the opposing team, and we thought about it a lot. It was really pleasant to see that we kind of got to the same conclusions in a way, right? At the same time, the topic itself, it was really, really difficult at the beginning. We didn't really know where to, I don't know, where to find the information, etc. And we would like to thank Professor Rafael Puertas, who really helped us and guide us throughout the investigation process in order to make the arguments of this debate.
Thank you very much. From Kathmandu University's debate team, Ms. Rashmini Shah, how did you find the experience? How did you find the arguments of the opposing team preparation?
Firstly, I'm more than grateful for this opportunity and equally really very proud to represent my university. Yes, it was indeed a great learning opportunity. So extending my heartfelt gratitude towards the organizer, my fellow team member Nandita, and of course our wonderful opponent team members. Yes, it was quite a challenging topic. Being from one of the developing countries in South Asia, this topic was quite unusual, was very new to us. But yes, we did learn something very new, something we could apply in our own countries, some practical knowledge as well. So thank you for this opportunity once again.
Thank you very much. of closing the feedback session, Ms. Paula Andrea Gomez Acosta from University of Antioquia. How did you find the experience, the argument of opposing team, the topic?
Thank you very much. Well, it was a really exciting experience. As I always say, having this kind of experiences is like one in a million, and I feel really happy to be here and to share with these wonderful girls from Kathmandu. They're in Nepal. So yeah, also thanks for the organization team. This was like an excellent space to be and to get to know a new topic that was 100% new for me.
Thank you very much. On the side of the organizing team, we always say we are really happy to bring topics that the students might have encountered or might not have encountered to the foreground, and given the opportunity for you to research from the both sides of the arguments, it's always exciting to see how you applied legal knowledge from your studies and certain principles and soft law or hard laws throughout your argumentation. So well done. Also well done for working with your team members. Indeed, during the competition, you can have either 2 or 3 team members. So long as there are 2 team members available to participate, the match is possible to take place. Well done. So I will be now passing the floor to my colleague who will be closing the session for today's match.
So yes, many thanks, and actually it was indeed quite interesting to see indeed this very intense debate, because I was watching, of course, and listening. And as well, many thanks as well to the audience, because I guess you have shared the link indeed with many of your friends, family, fellows, professors, and in general audience in Colombia, in Nepal as well. So many thanks as well for watching it in the evening in Nepal and in the morning in Colombia. So greetings to all of you. So yes, traditionally we ask at the end of the match some questions to the students to know how they know the other country that they have a match with, and simply yes to make them networking, of course, if they want after the match. So first of all, Miss Shah, do you know any, I would say, person, or do you have any friends from South America maybe?
Friends who are studying in America.
In South America even.
I do have relatives there. Also, some of the friends who are studying in America. Yeah, I do have.
Okay. And on the side of Miss Gomez Acosta, do you have any friends maybe who lives in Asia and maybe in Nepal eventually?
Well, I have not the luck to meet ever since this moment that I have met these two wonderful girls, anyone in Asia or in Nepal. So it's amazing to be here. I am really excited, even though we have already finished the debate.
Yes, of course, an opportunity to keep contact afterwards, because you never know if one day you end up being in Nepal and you would like to visit, I would say, the city or the university. So that's a good opportunity. Miss Karel, do you have any friends or any connection maybe with Colombia or South America eventually?
Yes, I do have a few relatives and a couple of friends, and I can say 3 more friends from now on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very good. Just a bit curiosity, did they come to South America for work, for studies, or for family reason maybe?
Mainly for academic purpose.
Academic purpose. Okay, thank you. Mr. Zapata, do you have any connections, friends, or do you know anybody in Nepal or in Asia in general?
I mean, 40 minutes ago, I would have said like, no, I have no connections in Asia, but now I do. I have two really smart girls that I know from Nepal and who did great in the debate.
Yes?
And yeah, the debate allow us to get to connect to people across the world, and I think that is great. And maybe one day visit them. Why not?
Yes, because actually, even if it's very far, obviously, there are many things in common between Nepal and Colombia. First, you are a country which has a lot of mountains, and from what I heard, I mean, some years ago, you have as well some climbers who go sometimes in Himalaya. Because of this, I would say something in common you have as well. Miss Morales Pulido, do you have any relatives or connections in Nepal or in Asia in general?
No relatives, but actually the first boss, like in my first work that I ever had, was from Nepal.
Ah,
So that's the connection that I have. And of course, to you girls, if you ever come to Colombia, like be I want you to know that you can count on us in order to guide you or to do anything you want here on our country.
so yes, so again, we encourage you, of course, to keep the connection on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or you can, of course, because of course you will be becoming lawyers, jurists in general. So it means if one day you have a client who need some help from knowledge from the other country's jurisdiction, that would be actually a good way to contact the ones that you already know through the competition, for example. So that is a long-term networking, let's say. Now, few information concerning what will happen after this match. Obviously, you will receive the evaluations from the judge who are maybe watching the match at this moment. There are 3 judges for this match. One is from France, one is from Greece, and the other one is from Australia. And yes, they will watch the match when they have time, of course. For the one in Australia, you can imagine that is very late. But in any case, that we told them that indeed it should be within the next 2 days that we expect their evaluation. Obviously, the winner of this match will go to the quarterfinals. So quarterfinals will be against a team will win in the match between a Dutch team from Tilburg University and a team from Czech Republic. So these two will have a match during this week as well. I think it's tomorrow. And then that will be your opponent, I mean the winner, for this match. Obviously, if it happens that you are interested as well to attend the final week of this competition, you are welcome. We already heard from some teams that they are willing, their university as well, and maybe some sponsors, some I would say supporters, to come to The Hague for the final, either as a participant to the final, of course, if you are finalist, or even semi-finalist, because there is a match for the third place as well, or simply as a visitor, attending the finals, and of course, as well participating to some visits we'll organize in international organizations. So on my side, I have to tell that yes, it was a pleasure, of course, to listen to your debate. And during the next days, we'll publish the results as well. We'll send you, of course, the forms of evaluation with your scores and the comments, but as well, it will be published on LinkedIn and Facebook, and then we'll know which team will move to the next round, which will be the quarterfinals. Of course, we encourage you to watch as well the other match, because then you will see how the other, I would say, teams, and might be even those who will be on your way to the finals, are competing and are debating on their own topics around this theme for this 8th finals round. So on my side, many thanks again. Congratulations for all the work you have done for this match, and as well as the previous match, of course. And we hope to see you very soon again in connection to this match and maybe to the next round. The floor to my colleague.
Mike, you have said it perfectly. Again, I can only repeat, well done to both teams. It's been a pleasure to see you throughout the competition, and looking forward to the results, and of course, seeing you in the future opportunities.
Many thanks, and good evening in Nepal, and good morning, of course, again, and the rest of the day, of course, in Colombia. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.